Here's a question from Matt. More cavities means lower cost. What's missing from this assumption? That's a great question. If you look at this situation on a spreadsheet, then this makes convincing cost sense. I mean, look at all the cost savings. 8 parts per shot means more parts per minute. 8 parts means we have half our machine requirement, and less machines means less operators. The cost savings just seem to keep piling up. Now, let's take a step back and look at this through a product development cycle. To simplify, imagine you are at EVT in your development cycle. The two scenarios are that you have either a 4-cavity tool, in which case you have 2 tools, or you have a single 8-cavity tool. Think about it. This kind of feels the same so far, doesn't it? Now let's look at this scenario from a risk and schedule perspective. You're in EVT, parts are trialed, you sent the parts back to PD, they're assembled and tested, and as expected, there are a few modifications to be made. Guess which tool is easier to modify, the 4-cavity or the 8-cavity? It's obvious, isn't it? It's the 4-cavity. Here's another advantage of the 4-cavity that you might not think of. You can modify one of the 4-cavity tools, and this gives you an option to still be able to produce parts to support EVT. You can test the modifications that you've made to the first 4-cavity tool before you commit to modifying the second 4-cavity tool. Now let's recap. Look at all the advantages that the smaller cavitation tool gave you. You saved time on making the modifications. You kept your options open by having the second tool on the sidelines. You reduced the risk if the modification caused any unexpected issues. In this same setting, the 8-cavity tool has a longer lead time, doesn't have a plan B, and carries 100% risk. Here's the takeaway for you. Not all cost information shows up on a spreadsheet. During development, always think of risk, options, and schedule. Risk has a cost associated with it. Options relates to cost, and your schedule definitely is a cost consideration. I hope this answers your question, Matt. Thank you.